Everyone, and welcome to this edition of Bringing It Home. This afternoon, I'm in Pueblo, Colorado, with Heather Johnston and Lori Ann Riddick, and we're going to approach this thing a little bit different today. Up until this time, the videos have been me visiting with families of the missing, but today I'm sitting with these two ladies here who don't have a family member that's missing, but because of a missing person here in Colorado, Kelsey Jean Schelling, they have stepped up and been heavily involved, with all the things that need to be done and everything. So, Lori and Heather, someone years ago, and I wish I could remember who it was, made a quote that no man is an island unto himself. I think it says a great deal about the point I want to get across in this video that we're going to do here, because obviously the missing person is going to affect the family, but it just affects more than just the family. And I know, because I know both of you, fairly well, I know how it's affected your lives. So what I'd like to do in this video is just have you share a little bit about, just even on a personal basis, how the things just, when it happened, how that affected you, and then what it motivated you to do moving on. So Heather, I'm gonna pick on you and start with you. So why don't you share with kind of when all that happened, and how you reacted, how you felt, and then how you move forward with helping.
Okay, well, Dennis, when I first heard about Kelsey, my heart just sunk because I'm a mother. And then I heard that she was carrying a baby. And it really affected me every day, looking at my child, my children, that thinking this mother's going through every day wondering where her daughter's at, her granddaughter, her grandson. And I just knew that I needed to help. I needed to find some way that I could be part of this and try to make a difference. And my children know their names. They know Kelsey, they know Kadri, they know about Laura. And it just, every day, we're constantly all talking. Maybe not constantly, but it comes into a lot of our conversations. And say, we put ornaments on the tree for Kelsey and Kadri. We have the signs hanging up in my upstairs so you can see from the street. You can see a big poster of Kelsey. We have one on the door. I mean, it's just something that you can't forget. I go to bed at night thinking, where is she? What is she? How can we find her? What's the next step? I search, I do a lot of research. It's just, she's forever, her and Kadri's going to be forever part of our lives, even after they're found. It's not something that's going to change and go away. They're a permanent part of our hearts.
Lori, why don't you share a little bit from your perspective?
I agree with Heather that once you went on a search, we actually went on a search, I think it was with Dateline was our first search, and we ended up searching with Kelsey's dad and her brother. And so I do a lot of volunteer work anyway, and walking dogs, getting blood drives together and things like that. I used to do that a lot. And then when I started with this Kelsey case, walking dogs, although important to some people, it was not as important to me at that point. At this point, it was all about, finding Kelsey. And then it wasn't just about finding Kelsey, it was about bringing awareness to other missing persons. And then the more we found out about Kelsey, the more we found out about other people that needed help, and, all the way from murder, runaways, kidnappings, and things like that. It's huge. And then when you come to find out that the families are out there alone, they don't really know what to do. There's people like us that are willing to organize, search parties and, do our own little, investigations and searches. Because even though we might not have a solid tip, if we go search an area, then that area is searched, and it's searched good. And if we have to go back, then we'll go back. If we have more information about other people while we're on the search, we'll search for that person and their belongings also. So the drive is, the motherhood. If you've ever met Laura, she's a genuine person who's actually trying to help everybody, not just her own daughter. And I think that if we all stood together like she did, we can actually make a difference.
And I think all of us, and a lot of people don't know my story in this, but 4 years ago, this would have been the first thing for me. And it was because I came in contact with a missing person family that it just literally turned my life around, and it was all about, what can I do? And I tend to be, as you know, a little resourceful anyhow, so it's like, well, what can I do? And it's just been a thing that has continued, and every time I get through doing one thing, it's what can I do going forward? What can I do that's different? And I think we've all been through that now. It's not like none of us came from law enforcement background or anything like that. And I think a lot of people, I think people really do care, and that's what I believe. But I think they see that as such an enormous thing, and because they feel like, well, what can I really do to help? I think it tends to probably cause them to freeze up more or less. But there are a lot of things that can be done, that people can get together. If somebody is out there watching this video and they are in a community where someone is missing, something like that is going on, what advice could both of you give to these people as to what they could do to help?
I would say talk about it for sure. I mean, you're at your dentist getting your teeth cleaned before they start. Hey, did you know this person's missing? This person's from our community, or this person came to our community, and now they're missing. Nobody knows where they're at. I mean, hang up posters, go on the searches, and it doesn't have to be something big every time. If you're unable to search, anything, share on social media. I mean, you'd agree, Laura, there's a lot of things you can do without actually having to be out there. If you've got a physical disability,
It's huge. There's many things that anyone can do. And like she said, it doesn't have to be a huge search. Huge searches are awesome to search, hard locations, but it could just be a couple of friends and you go out on a walk, get off the beaten path a little bit and go look, you know what I mean? Get your steps in. It could be a healthy thing. It doesn't have to be all weird. It doesn't.
Well, now when you met me today out front, of course you were waving like, Dennis, here I am. Here's where you need to pull over. I'm just disoriented when I'm anywhere, not where I'm home. But she flagged me down, believe it or not. So, but you had some things in your hand, and as we walked in here, you were busy being involved in helping the missing. What were you doing as we walked in the building?
Well, I brought the rest of our flyers, and I thought, well, if we're going to be there, we might as well spread the word. And one of the things is we had someone who was taking down posters from volunteers that were putting posters up. And, that's a lot of hard work, and a lot of people spend their own money and things like that. And so I've actually been going in and asking people, permission to post it in their businesses and things like that. So then I decided, well, hey, can you post this at your house, in your car, where you work at? I don't care where you put it, just put it somewhere, and that's help. That's spreading the word. It's something as simple as that. It's something as simple as saying, hey, this information is needed, you should call. You should call and let somebody know what you know. But there are other things that we've learned. We've learned, how to search, how to grid search. I'm learning human and non-human bone identification. I'm learning resources of how to get that identified. There's all sorts of things that when you learn something, like you said, you keep moving to the next step. Like, oh, okay, well, now I know this. Now what else can we do to help? What else can we do to help? And there are resources for the families to help themselves. And if you need help, just ask for it. We have so many resources as it is. Google, we have apps that will just pretty much do anything for you. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of tools that people don't realize they have in their hands that really, really help. But don't be afraid to help yourself, and don't expect anyone to do it for you. You need to get out there and do it. You need to get pictures, You need to get flyers, you need to get your friends and family out there, and get people involved, get people emotionally attached to your loved one. That's what it is. Like I said, it's not for everybody, but the people it is for, we're very passionate, and we care about what we do.
Well, I want to thank both of you for taking the time to do this with me this afternoon. And for those of you watching this, I want to encourage you to share this as much as you can on social media, share it with your friends. Just take an opportunity to, by doing this, to help someone else. And most of all, help me and help us to keep hope alive. So thank you for your time.